Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means that we are coping with life, and particularly coping with life on a very strict budget. Tonight, I am going to be prepping some food to eat during the night. I'm going to be watching the Australian Open. I'm going to cook dinner first, and then I will also be doing prepping some stuff to eat later on tonight. So I thought you might like to join me. As usual, I am only using stuff that is, basically in my fridge waiting to get eaten. Nothing special. I'm not sourcing out recipes or anything else. It's just like, what can I make with what I've got? And as you know, I love to use my leftovers on a Friday because I want to show people, hey, how much food do you throw away that really, you could turn into other food? Before I start on that, a couple of things. Number one, I know it doesn't look like it, but I've got banana peels here. This has been dehydrating for 2 weeks, maybe more, and you can see how small it's become. There's the peel of a banana. And then this one has been there for a week, and you can see it's that much bigger, but it will shrink down. This one has done a pretty good job. This one definitely looks okay. But I wanted to just show you, and by the way, my furnace is not working, so it's not on top of a um, air source anymore. It's just literally sitting in my spare bedroom, otherwise known as my storage locker. And so now the question is, why is Sal dehydrating banana peel? Anybody got any ideas? And the reason is dum 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 dum. The reason is I grow three things that love potassium. Number one, I love to grow tomatoes now. Number two, I love to grow peppers. And number three, I love to grow roses. So those three all enjoy potassium water, otherwise known, banana water. So I'm going to be um, turning all that into powder, uh, and then storing that ready for the spring. So just so I thought I'd let you know. The next thing, very important. This week I managed to score. Well, Jody's saying an excellent idea. Well, my attitude is anytime I can save a buck or two, I will. This week I managed to save a buck or two. I got a beautiful roast, triple A, prime sirloin roast. It was 1.6 kilograms for those of you who understand kilograms. For those of you who don't, that's about 3.5 pounds. And I paid about 28 bucks Canadian, 28 bucks 50 Canadian for it. Now that's quite a lot of money, but this is what I did with it. All right, there's the roast. I turned it into 7 steaks. 7 3-ounce steaks, because we know portion control is what it's all about. I can eat as much steak as I want to, as often as I want, as long as it's only 3 ounces. And also 7 steaks there and 4 3-ounce helpings of cubes. So 11 servings for 28 bucks. Triple A grade premium sirloin. So again, think about buying the roast and cutting it up. Way cheaper than if I just bought, I don't know down your neck of the woods, Jody will probably check for me, but a couple of good sirloin steaks, what would they cost? And that would probably give me, I would think about 4 steaks, right? If I bought 2 regular sirloin steaks, would probably turn into 4 for me. But I bet you're paying through the nose for them, for somebody else to cut it. So buy the whole roast, cut it yourself, save a lot of money. Next cost saving. Have you ever bought ginger or any other herb like this, right? I want to show you the reality. Again, all right, so it's $13 a pound American for sirloin steak. So Jody, I paid $28.50. Can you do that math? $28.50 for, what did I say it was in American? 3.5 pounds. Can you tell me what I paid per pound? Please, is what I mean. All right, so here we go. While Jody's doing the math on that, on the steak, if you've ever bought herbs and spices in bottles, please don't do it again. In other words, all right, so thank you, Jody. So Jody's saying I paid $9.50 American per pound by buying this big roast of sirloin, AAA sirloin, and I would have paid $13 per pound. That's quite a saving. Quite a saving, right? It's nearly half the price. I mean, it's just amazing. Third of the price. So anyway, let's go back to this. If you've ever bought one of these, don't buy a second one. Let me show you the trick, all right? So you buy the first one, if that's what you want, and then buy the fresh one. And I thought you'd like to know how I do that, all right? What I do is I will use this during the month, and if it's starting to look like it's had enough, it's beginning to dehydrate, what I do is I stick it in the blender and I blend it in my magic bullet. And it doesn't look like that. It starts off looking bigger chunks than this. I then put those bigger chunks in a I just put the big, it's already there. I put the bigger chunks into a ramekin like this and just leave it in my fridge for a few weeks. Funny enough, I do the same with my chives and things. Just leave them. Don't put a lid on it. Just leave it like this in your fridge. The fridge will freeze dry it, if you like. It manages it to dry it out and it keeps its color. So after I had done the initial blend of this stuff, left it in the fridge for a couple of weeks. By the way, it smells great. Today, I just nuked it one more time with my magic bullet. And as you can see, it's now absolutely fine, literally. And I can choose either to put it back in here or I can save space. And the reason I say that is because I know I bought that. Here we go. All right. I can fill up my bottle. That's fair enough. But I'm trying not to fill up my bottles anymore. I'm trying to get rid of them. Why? They take up way too much space. How many of your spice bottles are half full or less? So here's what I'm doing now. All right. Go to the dollar store, get yourself some little baggies for next to nothing. And ginger now takes up this much room. Let's see how much there is in here. Hang on, we can do this. We've got all the gizmos here. Okay, so this is 0.2 of an ounce. All right. It's so cute. 0.2 of, no, it actually says it's 1 now. No, 0.2. That's how much is in that. Now, how much is in the bottle? Let's find out. I'm going to zero this out with this on it. And in the bottle, I've got twice as much. Okay. The other thing I like to suggest is I don't know where that's been. I know exactly where that has been. And look at the difference in color. This is the stuff I did myself versus the stuff that's in the bottle. Which one looks better to you? I'll still use it. All right, here comes the crunch. The bottle, okay, originally came with 30 grams in it, which is about an ounce. I've been topping it up with my own, but this came with about an ounce in it, right? For $7.69. Got that? So basically $7.50 for that. However, this fresh, I paid, this is ridiculous. I paid 66 cents for it. Here you're paying for the bottle, not for the ginger. So again, if you bought the bottle once, try not to buy another one. Yeah, that's, you want to save a lot of money? Don't buy the bottles, buy the product. How many of you remember I bought cilantro last year? I bought cilantro last year. What do you call it? A handful of it. And I dried it into baggies like this. Okay? I'm still using it. My celery, I take the leaves off and I dry them. My parsley, all right? Why would I do it any other way? So it's up to you. I don't really need that. It's up to you. But if you really want to save money, you've pulled your belt in as much as you possibly can, and you're wondering where else can I save money? Really think about it. I am absolutely amazed that you can buy this much turmeric, for example, or any other spice that you want. You can buy this much for the price that you pay for a little bottle. So, basically you could use a bit of this and throw the rest away and you'd still be saving money. Think about it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. And some of you will remember that last year I also bought a savory plant. And as it went past its best, I collected the drying leaves and I turned them into spice. It smells so good. Just love the smell of it. So we're going to be using some of that tonight. 66 cents versus nearly $8. I mean, really, mind-blowing. Right, so now we're going to start off. I thought I'd, for a change, bring out my little red mean machine. How many of you have seen me use that before? It's been a long time since I've used it. It's one of those gizmos that you see advertised every now and then and you wonder, do they work? I want to tell you, if you are trying to learn about portion control, this is a really clever way to go. Why? Because it has just about the right proportion of space for what you should be eating. So what I thought I would do is I would cook some food in it and show you how I'm going to do my dinner on using just this machine. But first of all, I've never tried to cook bread in it. Do you think I should try it? It could fail miserably. I could set off all the fire alarms. But hey, I don't know about you, but I fancy an experiment today. So let's turn this thing on and let it heat up. And like anything else like this, I'm just going to put a spritz of oil in it. And what it does, can you see that? No, you can't see it there. It's just got a little red light on here. When it's hot enough for whatever it wants to do, it'll go green. So that's how it works. So let's just see if we can do some bread in there. I want to cook like a, what do you call it? A pita type thing. So here's my daily allowance of 3 ounces of bread. Dough. And I can use it, as you know, any way I want to. I've managed to keep my diabetes under control for 6 years by doing this sort of stuff. No medication, just changed my diet. And I still eat lots of bad stuff. Yeah. So there's my allotment of bread. And some days I can choose to have a pita. Some days I choose to have a pizza. Some days I choose to actually take 2 and turn it into a mini loaf of bread for a couple of days. Do all sorts of things with it. But today we're going to try and make a pizza in our little machine here. Oh, we need it to be this shape. Forgot that. Looks about right. Are you ready? Turn the fan on, sir. Now, if it triggers my fire alarm, I'm going to be missing for a while as I open up the doors. Remind me to turn that off. So the thing about this is, if you've got one of these, don't ever click it down. All right, it's got a little thing here. This thing here is just for when you're storing it. I've seen people try to use it and push that thing down, and you're just going to end up with things exploding on you. The trick is to cook for a little while. It's the perfect little Dutch oven, actually. We're going to cook it for a little while, and then I'm going to turn the whole thing over rather than turn the bread over. Make sense? And have any of you ever had one and used it? I'm going to cook my whole dinner on it for you, just to show you. Again, don't fire up the oven if you don't have to. The oven is a huge waste of money. Obviously, I use my air fryer almost every day, but tonight I thought I'd show you. You can actually just use something as small as this and cook your whole dinner. For one, I wouldn't recommend it for 2 people necessarily, but for one person, it's super. Okay, so now I'm going to just turn it over. Now you're wondering, why do I clean it while it's cooking? Why? Because if it's got any grease on it, the fact that it's heated up, it will release the grease, right? Think about that. So, and this is not wet, it's just damp. So it helps keep it clean. Yeah, cooking very nicely, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely easy to clean. I must say that. And by the way, I will show you later. The way I clean it is once I finish cooking, I just throw some water in there and let it steam itself clean. Does that make sense? And just literally, take my cloth and just wipe it out and it's done. Sometimes I need to rinse it and do it a second time. But very, very simple. Now, while that's cooking, please don't let me forget that. I don't want to set off the fire alarms here. I thought I'd show you, I've got a friend having a birthday coming up at the end of the month. So I keep a few of these on hand in my sort of presents locker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make her some of my well-known dressing. It's really simple. Another trick, if you've got a bottle of olive oil and you've used it and you've finished the bottle, don't throw the bottle away yet. Just let it stand for a while. That's how much oil was coating the sides of my bottle. Again, another little hack to save some money. Just a little bit more oil. So I'm going to put some oil in there. And some more in. I'm using pure virgin, extra virgin olive oil. I don't know what an extra virgin is. I could have a guess. Oh, all right, so about 2/3 olive oil. Top it up with balsamic vinegar. This is honey. Honey is good for you, has anti-inflammatory properties. And the last bit is to huck in some cumin. Now, I know what you're saying, and I want to tell you, you will not forget it. So I put in about half a teaspoon, I would think, of cumin. Then put the lid back on. Shake it like mad. Obviously, the cumin will rehydrate in there some degree. Just trying to mix in the honey. And I have never taken this anywhere, and I do take it with me quite often if I'm taking a salad somewhere. I have never taken it anywhere where people haven't said to me, "Oh my gosh, that is so good. How did you make it?" Really difficult, right? Now you could add, salt and pepper and whatever you like in yours, but I want to tell you just that combination on its own gives the greatest taste to a salad. And that honey will just dissipate over time. Good. Now I forgot to make some more for myself, so I'm just going to do a bit more while I got everything here. Oh, how are we doing? Ah, it's puffing up. I'm so excited. Looks like a jar. All right, so let's do my own. And this is obviously one of these bottles that I kept because it's ideal for this. So again, some virgin olive oil. Balsamic vinegar. Some honey. And then the cumin. And I'm going to put about that much in, about a teaspoon. Put the lid back on. Shake it up. And by the way, I got this recipe from a restaurant when I went for dinner one evening. And I want to tell you, I tasted this and I said, I'm sorry, I hate to do this. I know it's probably a trade secret, but I need to know how to make that. I can't live without it. All right, so how simple was that? Now, obviously, because I'm me, I'm going to design a little label that has, Sal's salad dressing on it, or Sal's vinaigrette or whatever on it, and then that'll be part of her birthday present. Easy to make, and I know she loves it because she's always asking me to bring some over. So now she's got her own bottle. Salad salad dressing. Very clever, Jody. Yeah. All right. So, how much would I pay for that much dressing? And obviously, as I never measure, it's always unique, just like the person who makes it. So, I'm going to put these to the side. Turn this over one more time. It's okay. And we're going to take this out. I think it's probably done. That works, people. I'm happy. All right, so while we're doing this, let's cook something else in there. What should we cook first? Let's do some onions. So what I'm going to do is about half an onion in here. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of oil in the bag. Not very much, doesn't need very much. Try not to cook the bag with it. Because I nearly did then. Yeah. In the meantime, we have got our little baby Peter. Which is quite hot. By the way, this is my, as you all know, I make my own multigrain dough. Haven't bought bread for years. There we go. And you can probably see how thin it is and how hot it is. So that's going to be a sandwich for midnight snacking in a bit. So we'll put that to the side. Now, the reason for this is because the Australian Open goes through the middle of the night. Now, what I like about this, instead of having to turn everything over, you just turn the unit over. Don't you think that's clever? And then I've got an arrow. I must have taken a Sharpie one day to remind me to turn it one way only, because when I first had it, I used to keep turning it over and over, and I'd end up with a cord that was totally wound up, as they say. So we've got that. I'm also going to be, this is part of my dinner. I'm also going to be cooking a steak, one of my steaks in here. In the meantime, I've got, after I've cooked the onion, because I want a little bit of the onion to do the next bit, but I'm going to make a omelette in there to have with my dinner. So it's going to be a high protein dinner of a steak and omelette with vegetables in it. And then that allows me to snack on the bad stuff while I'm watching television. And, you understand, that's how I live my life. I'll eat this way so that I can eat the other bits later. And I'm going to have fun eating those because I got all sorts of fun things that I'm going to make. First of all, one of my indulgences is shrimp chips. Okay, and I buy them like this. And I just take a handful and I throw them in my popcorn maker with a little bit of oil. Lid on. Okay. And what I will be doing is just nuking that for about a minute, and that'll give me some chips to eat. But I'd rather not do it while that one's going because I'm not sure if they're on the same circuit, and I don't want to blow the breaker today. Now, the other thing that I'm going to prepare, lots of bubbling going on in there. See that? Just when I move them around a bit, looking beautiful. Now, you can understand, how have I been liking my popcorn making? It's working beautifully. I cook all sorts of things in it. I cook all sorts of things in it, Jody. As I said, I do my shrimp chips in it. I do my popcorn. It works really well. And what I really like about it is that when you're finished with it, it goes right down into nothing. That's perhaps the best thing of all. And it's silicone, so it washes easily. Just bung it in the dishwasher, and it's great. I'll show you in a second. Just very concerned about the fire alarms here. Right, so while that's doing, what I think I'm going to do is I've got it sort of power cooked, and I'm going to put it into the air fry just to finish cooking while we do the rest. It's called multitasking, right? But they are nearly translucent, just so you know. I hope. It's pretty good. And while that's still nice and hot right there, here's my 3 ounces of steak. All right. And I'm just going to throw that in. Close the lid. Keep your fingers crossed that I don't blow a circuit. Oh, super. Now, what I've also got left over from this week is some potato. I got half a potato that is now sitting in my keyboard. Half a potato, and I thought I'd make a little potato salad, for the middle of 3 o'clock in the morning type thing. So I'm just going to cut that up. Okay. I'm going to put in a little bit of this spicy mayo. I just love this. But it's a bit too spicy for me. So what I do is I put a little squidge in, and then the rest I put in regular mayo, if I can find it. Good. Houston, we have a problem. How many of you watch the lunchtime broadcast? You will know where my meat thermometer is. Somewhere where I can't use it. But I want to overcook the meat anyway because I want to make it into bite-sized pieces. You know what I mean? Almost like beef jerky. Crispy pieces. That's what I want. Okay, so we got that. That looks good. And we're going to take our herb scissors, cut a piece or two of fresh chives. Put those in. What else should we put in? Salt and pepper for sure, right? And some pepper. I'm such a happy little camper with this. Um, Thinking, oh, what about some Parmesan cheese in there? That's what I was got some of that to use up. I've got to throw some of that in. I'll make it tasty. Good protein. I'm going to put in what need a whole lot more. Now, I wanted to know, do you like your potato salad chunky or smooth? I think it's a personal choice. I like mine sort of a little chunky. Needs a bit more. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh cream in there. Protein. More. Yeah. So Jody, we've got mayo and half a potato, so not the end of the world in terms of badness, right? A little bit of starch there, and it's a lot. It'll probably be 2 servings for me. Just want to let that cool down for a little while. But in the meantime, I'm going to put a little bit of water in there so that the steam will clean the juices off, and I'll have beautiful jus for my steak. That might need a bit more. Let me see how it's doing. I like my medium rare. It's exactly what it is. Oh, it's so good, people. I can't believe I did it first. Oh, it's dropping everywhere. Ah. Mhm. So good. Might not make it to dinner. If I turn this over, I'm going to cause a mess, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, I'm not. So I turned it off. Okay, that's fine. So, for dinner, we have got steak. I don't know if you can see that it's actually a beautiful medium rare. I could not have done that better if I tried, which I didn't, of course. And I'm going to take a small ramekin. Portion control, remember. Now, I could have put an egg in here. That would have been nice as well. Something's telling me a little bit of paprika on top would be good. Why do I think that? Oh, well, let's try it. We'll find out. You know what? Jody, turmeric, right? That's good for me. I'm thinking turmeric even better. What does turmeric do? Boosts the immune system. So just a little bit on top. Have one serving with dinner and one later on in the morning, if I want to. That works. Told you I'd make a mess, and I wasn't wrong. All right, so now I've got that. This one's going in the fridge for later. So I'm just covering it now. I'll have it. In the meantime, I want to have even more protein here. I'm going to make myself an omelet to go with that. I'm going to make a, let's turn the heat back on. That's difficult to do so. I've never done that before. It takes talent. Oh, even more talent to break it. Come on now. Go in there. I've never done that before. First time for everything. Yeah, what the heck. Gonna have 1.5 egg omelet. And we're gonna have Cheese is good, right? That's more protein. So I'm going to put in some marbled cheese. It'll all go in the same thing. And I've got some ham left over this week, so I'm going to put a couple of pieces of ham in there. Oh, maybe I don't need the paper in this one. The dividing paper. No, you don't need that in there. Good. So put ham in. Let's put in some vegetables. Yellow, orange. Alright, we must need some tomatoes to get the red. We need some celery to get the green. Got some leek, small green. Okay, and some carrots. Pretty good eating the rainbow stuff. So that is a little thicker than I would like. I'm going to throw in a little bit of yogurt. Good for you yogurt, right? Lots of good stuff in yogurt. And in Canada, we actually can save a fortune on yogurt because we can buy it by the bag, not by the tub. Really recommend it. So here we go. I'm going to, it's like milking a cow. Should do. Now, I've got a little bit too much here. So I'm going to do one and a bit. All right, so turmeric is good for arthritis, digestive disorders, respiratory infection, allergies, liver disease, depression, and many other things. It's a really good thing. Throw a little bit in every now and then, and you really won't notice it, but you know it's doing good things. Now with my steak, it's Friday night, so I'm allowed bad stuff. I'm going to put a little bit of Branson pickle in there. Can you see that? Really good stuff. It's a Brit thing, not paid by them. Luckily, my store still carries it. It's a really tasty pickle. It's used for what they call ploughman lunches in England. Um, so, I'm now going to add cheese as well to it. Okay, we're good for comments. I really made a big mess, didn't I? Never mind. So I've got some smoked cheese here that I'm going to add for later. Now, what else shall I have later? I'm obviously going to be doing popcorn later. Popcorn, not bad for you. All right. I don't put butter on it. I pop the corn, and just before I eat it, I sprinkle just a little bit of vanilla seasoning on it. Okay, just a little bit of vanilla. I gotta stop doing that to my computer. Vanilla powder over the top of it. So then I think I'm eating something sweet, which I'm not. It's just the vanilla, so that'll be tasty. I have got celery sticks that I'm going to have with cream cheese as well, and I'll be doing that a bit later. And then basically, that's what I'm going to have. The trick is that I've discovered, the trick is don't eat it all at once. Oh, Jody's saying, I love popcorn. I put a little Splendor, so that's sweetener, and cinnamon, and call it cinnamon corn. Absolutely. Oh, cinnamon corn. It's delicious. I'll try that tonight. So a little bit of sweetener and then a little bit of cinnamon powder. And we know cinnamon is good for us. So that's a good thing. It's beginning to firm up. I'm very pleased to report. Like that. And you remember I have got the pita bread. So I'm going to be making a sandwich of, cheese and cucumber for later on, whenever it happens. The trick is this looks like a regular omelet. And we all know it's not a regular omelet. What is it? An omelet full of vegetables and protein. I actually got a compliment from my doctor this week. When did that ever happen? Because he said, I noticed your A1C came in at 5.8. And he said, how many years has that been you've done this? And I said, 6. And he said, so for 6 years, you've managed to keep your diabetes under control perfectly, even with all the stress of cancer and everything else, and you are still hitting the numbers. And I said, yep. He said, that's pretty impressive. So I said, I should continue doing what I'm doing? He said, absolutely. I was so proud of myself. All right, so I'll put a little bit of looking good, people. Now, when I turn it over, if I've timed this incorrectly, it might fall apart. Will you forgive me? I don't care. Okay, so we want some green onion on there. What did I do with it? I had it in my hand. Ah, I didn't do it. You did it. Now we don't want to overcook it. Make it all rubbery. So what I'm going to do is take it out and let it finish cooking on its own. Anything could happen, people. And probably will. I'm going to hard it. You know, oh, I've got cheese in there already, haven't I? So a big mess in there. I'm going to put some water in, close the lid, undo it. So that doesn't look like I got vegetables to eat, but you and I both know I got vegetables and all the colors in there. And so I'm off to go and eat my dinner. Took us an hour. I got half the snacks ready for this evening, and the rest of it I will do as I go along. I've got all sorts of little dips and things that I'm going to be making, but what I wanted to show you is I forgot something. Why didn't you remind me? You guys are useless. You know that? You remember I said they're partially cooked and I put them in the air fryer? They were just at 280 and look at them. Couldn't be better if I tried. Jody, onion, good for me? So I'm going to put this in the fridge and I'll be eating it. Maybe I'll have it on like a egg salad on my pita. I don't know. I'm going to have fun. And Jody, is an alarm going? Did you say? Really? All right, onions, good for the blood sugar and digestive health. So lots of protein and a full plate of food, a little bit of sweet there with the pickle, but hey, you can live. I gotta leave that to do the rest. Right, everybody. Jody, thanks for your help. Thank you for the research. You do a great job on that. I don't know how you do it. I'm off. I'm off to go and eat and thoroughly enjoy my dinner. This is DearMamaSal saying, little thing, hardly any use of wattage or anything else. Cooked a whole dinner and just with leftovers in the fridge. Bye bye for now.